Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is SP Jimmy, and you're here because you saw all of the binds that I was talking about or using in my videos, and you wanted to know, how do I get to use those binds as well? Well, you're in luck. I have a lot of things to show you today. We're going to go through some web pages here, kind of explaining a bit more about binds. I'm going to show you some more of my binds that I've worked on. But there's a couple of points that I want to get across before we even start, and that is there's no way in a 20-minute video or however long this is going to be, I could get you to the point where you could bind fluently. It's almost like coding, and you need a lot of practice, and that the buttons need to click in your head and those pathways need to come together where you go, oh, that's why I go from right to left even though it reads backwards, and that's why I always need two little dollar signs and this and that. So my hope is that as we go through this, I can give you guys every resource that I have here down in the description. Go ahead, click it, read through it. You're gonna have to mess around with your binds a lot to get them to a point where they're actually usable. And I would love to see your binds down in the comments if you guys are able to make anything up or an adjustment on something that I have here. I think that would be wonderful. I want to go briefly through in order the web pages that I have for you here, because then when I show you all of my binds, it's going to make more sense. We do have the Mastermind 1 through 9 keypad. I know some people were asking about that. I'll show you how we can get that done. There's an easy way and a hard way. I'll show you both, as well as creating your own custom keybinds for any characters that you have. If you saw my Peacebringer video, I think it's the last one that I posted before this, you would see I have a 1 through 9 macros for Peacebringer, so go ahead and check that one out as well if you want even more binds. Now I'm not going to read all of this. I'm assuming that we know what a bind is, and there's two major forms. We're going to do /bind and /macro are really what we're concerned about today, but you still want to read through this. It gives you some good information if you got stuck, how to send tells, just kind of the basics. And here's something that's a little bit more interesting for us. The little underslash that you see in a bind, that is for a human being able to read it easier. It doesn't make a difference to the machine in any way if you have the underline here and here, for example. So a lot of the time we see powexec and then underscore name. That underscore doesn't need to be there. So if you're running out of room, because you can only have so many characters in your bind, you could take out some of those underscores. And you'll see one of mine where I had to do that when we look at mine as well. Okay, there's ways that you can do it to a single key. You can do it to a key down, does one thing, and then when you lift the key, it does something else. I'm not super good at that one. I always mess it up. L shift, R shift, L button is your left click. Button 4 is your, I guess is your right click. Oh no, thumb button. R button, M button, all that good stuff. Read through this so you know what keys it is that you are binding. Here's an example of something, and we know we can actually take out the underscores here if we wanted. All right, so go ahead and read through that one. That's the incomplete and unofficial guide. Now let's look at the Sandolphins Mastermind 1 through 9 binds. There's an easy way and there's a hard way. I have it both ways on my computer, and there's gives and takes to why you would do it, okay? Read through this, it's in the description. The easy way to do it is to copy and paste here so that your numpad 0 is going to control all of your pets. And then depending on which pet set you have, if you have beasts, you're going to highlight, copy and paste that into your game, copy and paste that into your game, and then copy and paste that into your game. And that's going to give you the 1 through 9 and 0 for beasts. Okay, you can see what those different keypads do up here. 0 selects all henchmen, 1 is minions, 2 is lieutenants, 3 is bosses, and so on, aggressive, defensive, passive, attack, follow, go to. So what you could do is press like 1, 5, 8, and that's going to turn your minion defensive to follow, or 0, 5, 8. Or even just 0, 8 will usually put them straight into follow defensive mode. But you could be really customizable there. I like to move my minions in all different areas. I'll press 1, 9, and I'll click somewhere. 2, 9, click somewhere else. 3, 9, click somewhere. And do that so they're running around in circles and it looks crazy. And people are like, how do you control your pets so well? I just have a 1 through 9 keybind here. So that's the easy way, is just to do these. You can do it for minions, for mercs, for necros. That's all in the link that I'm giving you guys. And then here you want to, for this one, you're going to change the name minion A, or minion B, minion C. You're going to change those for your pet that matches up here, because they didn't do one for each of them. But this is going to give you the access to what the multiply symbol does, what the plus symbol does, which I think, for example, let's see one here. Slash bide add, so your add symbol is going to give them, I think it's a buff. Yeah, it like targets them and it gives them a buff, or it tells them to go somewhere or do something specific. Now, I never used these ones down here at the end, the individuals by name, because by the point I got to that, I was doing the second step here. A little bit more difficult, but I think that it's probably worth it in the long run. Basically, you follow their instructions and you're going to be able to download files where they tell you to do it. So like under your binds and stuff, you download the files in, and then once they're all in place, they all kind of work together to access different files that you wouldn't normally have room to just enter. And basically, if I go down to the bottom here, because you would have to do one for each pet regardless of what you have, they tell you to type in a certain command. Where is, I want to get the exact command where it's supposed to be. I'll find it down here. I don't see it. It's like slash bind load all. There you go. Bind load file D robot guard, whoever it is that you're trying to get, just for the robot or whoever. So the thing is, these guides are really long, and what we find out in City of Heroes as well is that there's guides for everything. This is probably the shortest and most direct version of the binding guides that I could find for you guys, that wasn't just a huge black and white packet, you know, like 50, 60 pages long, like here's everything you can do. And I read through a lot of it, but goodness gracious, it doesn't have much to do with what we're trying to get. So go ahead, read through this as well. And you should be able to get it working. If you're having trouble with it, go ahead, post down in the comments, or even on the Masterminds forum, and people can help you out. But post down in the comments and we'll help you figure this out. The next link that I'm going to have for you guys is a list of all of the slash commands. The main ones that we use are slash bind and slash macro, but you can see, you can go slash CC to get to your costume. What are some other ones? Slash AH for auction house. You can access the auction house from anywhere. Arena stuff, how to do certain types of screenshots that are different. So it's nice just to know sort of what your options are here as well. All right. This leads to the next page. This is how to do macro icons, because you don't have to just have a gray circle with a couple of letters in it when you make a macro. And I'll include links to both just in case you can't get to the Google Doc, but they have this Google Doc right here that has a picture of the image that you would want for your macro, and then how to get that macro for the template. So you can see here's a lot of the powers. I can go archetype, and it'll show me all of the archetypes, origins, inspirations, but those are all available as well, so that your trays and your power trays can look a little bit nicer. They're kind of slow to load, but there's lots of options there. I think every option in the game is there. All right, so everybody has full access to those. Let's start looking at my binds. These are the Peacebringer binds that you guys already saw, but let's get down into some of the other ones. And if I have room, I will also post all of the binds that I'm showing you guys here in the description, along with all of the ways to get to those websites and find everything else. So I tried to mark these as best as I could as I was going by, but they're not perfect. So this is for my Warshade. I can, going in order, target next, priority quantum. So my tab would always try to get a quantum before any other, or assist or avoid before any other character. Now what's funny is, if we look at the left over here, it says enemy next. If we look at the right over here, that's when it's going for the assist and the void and the quantum and all that, because even though we type it left to right, it's going to read from right to left. So whatever is on the very right, and you guys will know that as you read through the links that I sent you, whatever is going to happen first is over here on the right, okay? Target dead, and then cast Unchain Essence. So I would automatically target a dead body and then cast Unchained Essence. Notice that's in the reverse order as well. Same thing for Dark Extraction to get a big boom. That was really helpful. I could finally use those 2 powers. Here's one that I use on a lot of my characters. You guys are welcome to take this or adjust it how you want it to be. It's when I press enter to start typing, it's /bind enter parentheses, not parentheses, quotation, EM laptop, $, $AFK, and then my guy says typing, $, start chat. And then that's how I click it, and he pulls out a laptop. It says typing above his head, and that's how people know that I'm responding to them. You can change this to whatever emote you want it to be. I would be so happy if somebody could make me down in the comments, I want to be able to press backspace, pull out a cell phone, and say I'm texting when I'm actually replying to a tell, but I haven't been able to figure that one out yet. So you can see I was trying to figure that one out here, and something's wrong with that. I can't figure out what it is, but something's not right. Somebody tell me, how do I make that a cell phone so I can talk to people? Shadow Recall Friend and Send Tell. So I did this both for Recall Friend and Shadow Recall because I was doing it on my Warshade, and someone's all, how do you do that? I want to do it. So I made them one for Recall Friend. It was on a macro. I could have added a better image, but this way they can move it wherever they want it on their power tray. Here is a very powerful macro. It's game changing, and I use it for a couple other abilities as well that you'll see. /bind, shift plus L button, POW exec name, and then shadow step. So whatever teleport you have, this can be teleport, translocate, lightning rod, shield charge, savage leap, I think we'll see down below. You just hold down left shift and click, and it's going to automatically teleport you. Turns a 2-click into a 1-click ability. Well, I guess still 2, but makes it a lot easier in my opinion. Auto melee and follow. So I only use this for 1 or 2 of my abilities at a time. If I need something like on a melee character and I need to close the gap and start moving towards them, and I don't like being out of range, I set that for Gravity Well and Essence Drain because it was really my only 2 melees on my Warshade. Auto hasten during attack chain. Now I've stopped doing this lately, and on some characters I have to. On my Peacebringer, I have to swap my auto around so much to get all of his abilities going off in time, especially if he's swapping forms and things like that. But for other characters, I just want to leave hasten on auto all the time. This is for a character where I had to swap off and on. It looks like it was for my Warshade. So I made sure that anytime I use Shadow Blast or Dark Detonation, which I would use pretty often, it would at least try to refresh my hasten because I was probably had swapped it onto like Extract Essence or something and knock on back to hasten. So that was just to make sure that I was always getting that back. Marking a quantum, marking a Hamadon bud, marking anything that you want the person to attack. That's what the macro looks like there. And then we have, sorry, I was getting text. Power Bolt plus follow because I didn't have a melee on my Peacebringer and I wanted to get closer. Here are some inspirations that I did, combining inspirations to make a break free, but on this character I didn't want to trade an enrage for a break free or a break free for an enrage, so those from here up don't trade reds for purples with each other like that. But I can do a small break free, medium break free, or a large break free, and because I have it in the reverse order with a break between the dollar signs here, it's only going to do 1 at a time from lowest to greatest, which I like. Same thing for the enrage down here. I can use highest level enrage, highest level break free that I happen to have, so you guys will have that access as well. I was trying to target a specific elite boss in a AE that I kept running, but I didn't get around to finishing it because I found a better farm to do, but I thought that would be nice just to target the elite boss between each mob and not have to keep cycling through the minions. So that's something that could have been done. Use the highest inspiration available for endurance, defense, heal. Here's more for creating enrages. I think that this actually would Yeah, this one would trade just about anything. Catch a breath. Okay. Down here for my tank, I have a couple macros for Charge Brawl to follow, Thunderstrike to follow, Chain Induction to follow, just putting follow first because I know it happens last. I could go back and add macros for these, but I was actually playing in while I made these and thought I was like, oh, let me get these in. But you always want to save your macros to a Word doc or something like that so you can come back in instances like this. I give people macros and then they put it in their character and they go, well, I hope I remember that. Well, how about you write it down so I don't have to tell you again. Here's one to target a corrupted security guard. That was the elite boss that I was trying to target from a previous AE. Here's all of the different teleports. To shift button, alt plus click, control plus click, because I had them all on the same character. So we had shield charge, lightning rod, and then spring attack from the jump power pool. And that was really fun. And I would just have these three really close buttons and click, click, click around wherever I wanted him to go. Here is another version of the AFK chat box. This time they're formulating a sentence while they mix formulas together. Shut up, I'm on the phone, or they talk on the cell phone. I had to get rid of that one because someone thought I was being mean to them. So I changed that one to typing later on. Now, here is an example of the demons and thugs mastermind controls that we talked about before that you guys could totally just paste. This won't give you the auto summon on yourself. You're going to have to look at the other guide to get that. This is just to control them with the numpad. So you have demons here, you have thugs here, and you could copy and paste those one line at a time if you wanted to, and they would totally work. Here's some macros that I had my pets doing, and I'll show you how you can kind of change what your pets do more specifically. So this was that I would float books. My character says, let's see, what does this spell do? And then all of my pets do the Alakazam, react, emote, and turn into random objects. After that, I got some thugs, so I wanted them all to spray paint. So there's one for pet say all spray paint. Here's one to make them all do the robot dance, hand out pamphlets. I can make them all do push-ups. And I macro these so I can click them across my bars, not have certain keys dedicated to them. Here's they all get out a boombox. They all dance. They all do the at ease military salute. They all drink enrich. They all propose, throw confetti, throw rice, and throw rose petals, which, by the way, that will lag some people out. If you want to mess with people, stand next to Miss Liberty and have them throw confetti and rice and rose petals, and it lags everybody. You can do the one here for drum if you're waiting for like the MSR raid and everyone has their drums out, so you have like 6 people with drums. It's awesome. I like to spray paint the bottom of Atlas's foot underneath the park, and everyone stops and is like, what are you doing? Here I got a little bit more creative. Fireworks 1, 2, and 3. I changed the name. My guys were like Atlas, Pusher, something face, Booty Guard, I think was the Brute or the Bruiser. So I had them all do a different firework that I could click at different times. Click, 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 and they would do them off at different times. Or I could have them all shoot off their specific firework at the same time, but the reset made it seem really weird. I like just doing the 3 of them independently instead of that. Here is the bind load file that I would have to type if I wanted to do the other version of Sand Dolphins and then do it for like robots or something like that. I'm not going to include this one when I do it for you guys because it's to my computer specifically. Yours is in a different subfolder. But you would do it like robotics or zombies, whatever the name of the thing, whatever the name of your pets was. It tells you in that other guide there. Power boost, then Howling Twilight. So bind 2. So anytime I press 2, I would auto cast Hasten and do Fearsome Stare. So Fearsome Stare and then Hasten becomes auto. If I hit my 3, I would power boost and then automatically do Howling Twilight, which was nice. So power boost goes off, Howling Twilight when I have a target, a little more control over there, but I always wanted to power boost before my Howling Twilight to get the biggest effect from it at that time. This is a Dark Miasma Mastermind I was using. Petrifying Gaze with Follow so I could get closer to them. Power boost with Web Envelop to hold them down even more. I don't think I use that one very much. and then getting one of my thugs to flip his coin. I always wanted to make one where I gave enrage to a bruiser and a lieutenant, or use like hell on earth on a certain one versus another. There's ways that you can do that too, and I hope that while you guys mess around with binds and can mess around with mine here as well, you see that it's not out of the realms of possibility. It's actually pretty easy once you understand a lot. I think honestly, all of these I just typed out by myself. Or I would lean like, how do I do a follow one? Okay, and then I would type out the rest of it with specific powers the way that I wanted. Controller double buff, so this was to give grant invisibility and clear mind, which I think I mentioned in another video. I never ended up using it very much. This is actually backwards, and I can see that now. This should be grant invisibility, and then auto should be clear mind, so that it stacks auto on them. I'll save that. So that's something I can see just looking at it. I'm like, oh, that's backwards. Let me fix that in there. Follow, heal other, plus fortitude on auto. That looks okay because I like fortitude on auto. Heal other and hasten. Healing aura, hasten, okay. Both recovery auras at the same time, making sure that everyone gets the endurance. Some people get the regen if they stick around, but it's actually faster to do it this way than to click recovery then regen. It automatically has it go to regen, which is a lot. It comes off right away. Adrenaline boost and fortitude auto and follow, so I could do both at the same time. I ended up not doing that anymore and just doing adrenaline boost and fortitude independently. Oh, you can see here, yeah, I fixed the clear mind one that I changed up here. I fixed it below as well. Now here's one that was giving me a lot of trouble, and I eventually just said forget about it. I was trying to get Mystic Flight, that when I held down left shift it would turn on flight. I could click to teleport while I'm holding left shift, and then when I let go of left shift, I wanted it to turn off Mystic Flight, and I could not for the life of me get it to work. So if somebody can get that to work and post it in the comments, I would love to be able to use Mystic Flight again. I want to hold shift, turn on flight, click to teleport while I hold it, and as soon as I let go of shift, I'm done flying. But I can't get that to work. There was another cool one, I don't know if I saved it here, where you could do like control click to the maximum distance your teleport would allow you in a certain direction. It was awesome. I was like, get me out of here. Click travel power. Now this is also one I was messing around with and I decided not to go with. I tried to put my super jump and super speed and sprint all onto the same power, so I would like click the power or click the button 3 times and they would all turn on. But the problem is if you go click click click, you would think it goes super jump, super speed, sprint, and they're all toggled on. No, if you go click, click, it goes super jump on, super jump off, super speed on. It turns it off if you click them too fast. So I was like, no way. I'll just keep them on 3 separate keys. It gives me more control. But what I did do is I had one that turns everything off. And it also turns off basically all of my powers if I just want to go off. And it's like Control X and they all disappear. And then this is a Savage Leap that I made for somebody in the same form as the teleport for any other power, but I just threw that together in a moment. Was like, boom, here you go, have Savage Leap, because creating all these macros and stuff just becomes somewhat second nature. So that's what I have for you guys today. Make sure that you check out good use of the macros here. I want to see in the comments as many new binds as you guys can come up with. I hope that you're able to use the Sand Dolphins with your Masterminds and get some more experience with them. Let me know if the Masterminds part needs more description. I mean, there's so many things online that have great description. I feel like it's a waste to have to make a video just about this one thing, but if you guys ask for it, I will make it, okay? There's so many City of Heroes binds, and guys, and I also want to go on, eventually I'm going to go on to like the old forums and show you guys, like, they have some really in-depth guides about characters and powers and what to use, and it's still worth a read today. It's just kind of hard to find because the forums don't really exist anymore. But